Hello guys, today I will be covering Half-Life chapters tier list. I will be ranking all the Half-Life chapters. Half-Life is one of my favorite games of all time. One of my, it's the game is very close to my heart, so I'll be ranking the chapters in this game today. First off, we have Black Mesa Inbound. This is where the game starts, and this is the opening sequence of the game. Um, about this, I don't have uh, a lot of opinions. I mean, this was revolutionary for its first time back in 1998. First-person shooter games uh, didn't really happen uh, or started, rather, in the way in which Half-Life started, especially with this chapter, Black Mesa Inbound. So this is a very special chapter, but again, there's not much you can do gameplay-wise here. It's just sort of somewhat of a cutscene, not exactly cutscene because you still retain your control, but you don't get to do much. So I'll be putting this in B tier for for the time being. Next we have questionable ethics. Questionable ethics is uh, one of the best chapters in the game by far. I mean, it certainly goes to S tier for me, but I'll be discussing why. Now, as for questionable ethics, it's one of those chapters which gives you that awe factor. When you get here from uh, residue processing, which is one of the most boring chapters I would say in the game. You get this awe factor suddenly, that you just gotten some of your weapons back, a few of your weapons back, um, and then you start gaining your weapons back. I think you also get the gauss gun here, uh, if I'm not wrong. So it's it's one of the best chapters in the game by far. And as I said, this your factor, you get to learn the mystery about what the Black Mesa scientists were doing here with the alien races from Zen. So it goes like there's a lot of lore in here. It goes long back. It just shows you how much there's how much depth there is to this Black Mesa incident. It just wasn't just coincidental. That it didn't happen just randomly. There were reasons why this happened, and this is one of the chapters that shows it. So it goes to to the S tier for me. Uh, Here, right here. Then we have surface tension. It is also one of those chapters in the game which is obviously a fan favorite. Uh, some think that this is the best chapter in the game. I don't think it's the best, but I certainly think this deserves a S tier spot. It's certainly one of the best chapters in the game. It's up there for me. I think it's better than questionable ethics. Uh, there's there's a lot of battle in here. Like it's one of those chapters. Like in Half-Life, there's not a whole lot of battles or like full frontal battle. You know, you get to fight on all fronts. You fight the Zen races. You also fight the Marines here, and you. This is a chapter where you actually sense danger for the first time. Proper danger, like everything is trying to kill you here. The iconic sections are also there, like one of the most iconic sections in the game. The cliffside section, the vertical section, it's really iconic. Uh, it's easily one of the best chapters in the game. For me, not the best, but it also goes to the S tier for me. It's a really good chapter, and I think it goes ahead of questionable ethics for me. Forget about Freeman. This comes right after surface tension. It is also uh, supposed to be like the surface tension, but I think it just doesn't deliver. In fact, as far as I can remember, the quote "Forget about Freeman" appears in "Forget about Freeman." I mean, if appears in surface tension rather than "Forget about Freeman" as the follow-up. And in the follow-up, I remember, as far as I can remember, it happens after the Gargantua chase, and then you go to this underground section there where a bunch of Zen aliens are trying to ambush you. It's not a whole lot, a few puzzles here and there. Then you get to the final section, which is cool. That's where the Marines are fighting the Zen races, the grunts and all. Grunts and Vorticons are fighting the Marines. That's a cool section. You get to use the tank there. Uh, it's cool, but certainly one of the most boring chapters in the game, so it's going to the C tier for me. Damn Dako. It happens right after Forget Our Freeman. Certainly, uh, really cool chapter. Just, I don't know, not the best. Certainly a cool chapter. There's a whole lot there. There's the teleporter section, which is good for your first playthrough, but it does get quite repetitive when you play it multiple number of times. So there's that. But it's a cool chapter. This is the final chapter, which happens on Earth, which happens in the Black Mesa facility. So there's something to it. The cool puzzles in here, and I just like the environment, the design. That's not the best. So it will go in front of Black Mesa Inbound and B tier. Zen, everybody's favorite, I guess. Certainly not. Zen is one of those chapters which got overly hated. I think the first time you appear on Zen after you jump into the teleporter in Lambda Core, which is a really cool section, Lambda Core, which I forgot to discuss. That last section we have to defend the scientists from getting killed by those flying aliens. I forgot their names, but Zen is one of the coolest, you know, locations. It's just that it wasn't perfectly executed. The platforming sections are just not up to the mark. Like the only thing you do here just is use that uh, you just jump here and there, from one place to another, and then just get to the bottom and then teleport to interloper. So, I don't, no, not interloper. I think, yeah, you get to Gonax layer first. Sorry, my bad. But anyways, Zen is it doesn't live up to the hype, but I think it's better than Forget of even just for the awe factor. So I'll give it that. So it goes in the C tier. Gonax layer, a boss fight. One of the first boss fights. I mean, if you don't include as I mean, it's not the boss fight. I mean, Blast Pit and uh, uh, you know Power Up had boss fights too. So it's not the first one, but it's cool. But I just hate the uh, baby head crabs. They just hang on to you and just leech your life out. 1 HP, 1 HP. It just goes on and then they just leech your life out. It just gets truly irritating. So I don't know, man. This is not my favorite chapter, to say the least. But it still isn't the worst either. So I think it will go in front of Forget of Freeman as well. Not bad, but it's okay. Interloper. Now, as for Interloper, uh, I would have actually created another uh, tier for it. I would have given it F tier if not for the few cool things about it. I would have easily given it F tier because it's by far the worst chapter in the game, like hands down. Just for the difficulty and everything. You know, it just gets too irritating, especially in that sort of elevator section that you have in the Vorticon factory. It just gets too irritating. So uh, I'm not really fond of this chapter at all. I don't like it all that much. It's there. There's still cool things to it. Like um I like the law of all the how Vortigons are actually enslaved, and they're not really thinking for themselves. They're being controlled by the Neolith, and uh, however you pronounce it, but it it has a cool lore to it. I will give it that, but certainly it's not a very well executed chapter. Like especially the first section you get to uh, in Interloper is one of the easiest sections in Interloper. Not really too hard, uh, but there's I think you get to see the uh, Gargantua there and the tentacle monster there. Those are all there. And then the second section you get to is the one where you see the uh, uh, I think I'm mixing things up, but there's this one section where you have this weird platforming section. I remember Interloper was divided into three parts. One of those sections has the platforming section, which is like my least favorite. Like I spent hours on end to get to the next section, which is the factory section, which gets even worse. Even though the low is good, but it just gets worse and worse. So I'm not a huge fan of Interloper. I would have given it an easy F, if not for uh, just the lore and the story behind it. Like as I said, Zen has cool story. Zen isn't all that bad as people say, but it still is as good as the rest of the game. So it goes to D tier for me. Neolith is the final chapter in the game, unless you consider the Garrett's its own chapter. And but Neolith is a good chapter in terms of the simple ending it gives you. Like not very simple. I mean, the G-man appears and then things get complicated. But what I'm trying to say is that Neolith itself is a simple boss fight. Uh, I mean, it's one of the easier boss fights if we see and compare it with other games, but it still is infuriating, especially when the Neelant teleports you through these weird sections. One of these sections is where you have to climb up to get back to the place where Neelant is fighting you. And then there's this other section where um, this is some sort of cave, and then you have to again get on one of these floating rocks or something to teleport back. So these are these weird sections that the ninja teleports you to, and it does get certainly irritating, but it's not really bad. So just I think this best out of Zen, but as I said, I can't give it more than a C. I think it's good, but I don't know, man. Anomalous materials. This is the intro section of the game. I just like how the game made this section so interactive, like the place where you microwave this coffee in the first part. Also, you know, uh, you can do stuff, very interactive stuff there. You can interrupt the security guard working, and then you can sabotage uh, this light system or whatever. I don't exactly remember, but then these security guards and the scientists give you some sort of reaction. Oh Gordon, what you're doing, something like that. So this is one of the most interactive initials in video game, especially from video games from the 90s. So it's really cool, it's a cool section. Can't really give it more than a B though. Like it's good, but not really that good either. So it goes over Black Mesa Inbound, but as I said, it's not more than a B for me. Unforeseen consequences. This is great. This is where you see the consequences uh, after the resonance cascade happens, and so uh, this is like the first. This is like actually the beginning of the game where you actually see things happen. Uh, You see the head crab zombies for the first time. You see the head crabs for the first time, for instance. Uh, as far as I can remember, you also get to see the bull squid probably, or you don't see. Uh, I can't remember about the bull squid, but I can certainly remember you see hound eyes pretty early on in the game. Probably you get to see the bull squids as well. I can't remember all that much, but yeah, one of the first locations where you actually get to see all these Zen races, and this is where things start off. And also, I like this one small detail where you're just walking and this bridge falls off. The game doesn't, uh, you know, force you to see things. The game does less things happens, and uh, that's my favorite part of Half-Life. There's no cutscene except from one cutscene in the middle of the game, so it just lets you see things for yourself. It doesn't force you to see. So, not the best thing about Half-Life, and it's great. This goes to the A tier for me. Unforeseen consequences. Great. Office complex. This is also one of my favorite chapters. I wouldn't say it's in the S tier for me, but it's in high A. This is where you also get those creepy, eerie feeling. This is where you really can feel yourself in Gordon's shoes. You can feel what Gordon's feeling. This emptiness, this loneliness, this sort of helplessness that you can't do anything, but you still have to get out somehow. And you also start learning that what your next goal is. Like, you have to get to the lambda core again and again, the scientists tell you. uh, but this is a place where you feel those eerie vibes. I remember that room where this it's covered with water, and then if to get out of this room you have to switch off the lights, and otherwise you'll be electrocuted. uh, Small details, but these are what um, you know makes video games. These things, small things, just these small things. uh, it's one of my favorite chapters actually, but still, as I said, it's not S tier level, so it will go in high A, above unforeseen consequences. We have got hostiles. This is one of the biggest twists in Half-Life. uh, we've all been hearing about the Marines coming and helping all the scientists. They'll uh, help us get out of this facility. They'll get rid of the Zen races, the Zen aliens. Uh, but unfortunately, we discovered one of these Marines shooting or gunning a scientist down. This is where we learn we have got hostiles. These are new form of hostiles. So the Zen races are not the only problem for us. The Marines are also one of the problems that we have to face. This is one of the biggest twists in Half-Life, I feel. And I mean, if you don't consider Half-Life 2, this is one of the biggest twists at least in the OG Half-Life. So when considering Half-Life 2, then we could easily give that to the Judith Mossman thing, but uh, yeah, you can. And this, I think this one is the better plot twist. I don't know, but whatever. This is a big plot twist, a big thing that happens in the game. This just changes the whole narrative or the direction the game goes in, and it also gives you meaning. You're not just fighting aliens; you're fighting everything. Everyone is your enemy. That's what makes Half-Life great. All these traps the Marines have set up for you, you have to escape, and you have to pass through them. This just uh, makes the game deeper and deeper, and I think I like this chapter a lot. I don't remember a whole lot though. I will put this above unforeseen consequences, but below Office Complex. It's great, but not better than Office Complex for me. Office Complex just brought that eerie and that creepy feeling for me, which I just adored. Blast Pit. This is my favorite. I mean, this is my absolute favorite in the game, and I will tell you the reason why. Blast Pit is that chapter where um, when I entered for the first time, obviously this greenish location, this you know weird sort of. This is like one of the most unique locations in the game. Basically, it's just uh, I mean, uh, this is a waste area, and you get to see things here. Uh, Obviously, when you first get here, one of the first scenes that you'll encounter is a tentacle monster grabbing a scientist and just taking it with it. Now, as for that tentacle monster, the first time you see such a massive, this is the first big Zen monster that you get to see, and the very first time you see it, you are in awe as to what it is, and you are terrified as well. It somewhat gives you that uh, feeling that okay, how do I get past this? And then you get to figure out, you know, you put two and two together, and then you know figure things out, and you figure out how to get past this. This monster is basically blind, so you have to you know throw a frag in here and there, because right before going out and confronting this massive tentacle monster, you have been given tons and tons of frag grenades. So you just figure things out. I figured this out myself, and I'm always very proud of it that I figured this out myself. And then you go to all these rooms, you activate the uh, power. Uh, power. I don't exactly remember, but you go to two different rooms and activate two different things. That does something, and then you basically uh, you blast the pit. That's what blast pit is, and then you go through that pit and to the next level. This chapter involves back and forth from here and there, from one room to the another, and I like it. I like the back and forth. I like how things take place. It allows you to think for yourself and figure things out for yourself, and I think this is what peak Half-Life is. There's like things you need to figure out. There's mystery. There's puzzles, and uh, back and forth. I think it's great. So this for me goes in the S tier above everything else. Uh, Not in the A tier, S tier, even above surface tension for me. This is peak of Half-Life for me. Power up. Power up follows up Blast Pit, and it certainly disappoints in terms of you know being another boss level right after uh, Blast Pit. But Power up, I think, is not bad level. It's a very good level, and in fact, I think it is a high A for me. Now, to explain things, when it comes to power up, I just like the level design first of all, and the second thing is there's this location, this Unreal Tournament sort of location where you uh, get to fight the Marines, and they're throwing grenades at you, they're running and hiding and then shooting. It's like proper combat in there, and I like that section. And then after you complete that, you go to this sort of you take an elevator, go down, and then switch on the electricity or something. Yeah, electricity, so that you can shoot down the gargantua. And I don't exactly remember, but things happen. You again you kill the marines, you solve some puzzle, then you kill another two or three marines, come back, shoot the gargantua down, and then you uh, see one Barney clone dying, as far as I can remember, and then you activate the rail and you sit on this monorail. And from monorail, this goes in, this goes below Office Complex, but this is a great chapter. And from rail we have on a rail. one of the worst chapters in the game, according to people. For me, I think this is a B tier chapter. I think not bad actually. I mean there were high points. I mean on rail as a concept itself, it's a great chapter, and if you think about it logically, on rail should be a long chapter because when there's a rail system within a facility, it's going to be long, and that's why on rail is long. Um, but it can be infuriatingly long, sometimes very difficult to complete as well. But once you complete it, it gives you this sense of satisfaction. And also, on rail is like uh, it's really good chapter. I mean, in terms of the combat with the Marines. There's section where the Vorticons are fighting the Marines. That's great. Another section which I can remember is this some sort of elevator rotating section, and then you go above. Uh, you keep going above and above, and then uh, in each floor there's a Marine located. They're shooting at you, and you have to shoot back at them. It's a great. It's actually great. I don't think it's bad. Chapter is It's just too long. Obviously, to top it off, it has that you know blasting rocket. You blast the rocket to somehow stop to close the portal, which is a logic I never really understood. But you know, it's a video game. But I never really understood how that closes the portal. In fact, I think blasting rocket I think brought more Zen soldiers to the world, and especially more controlled attack starts happening on you, especially in the following chapter, which is apprehension, as I will discuss. But as I said, honor has its eyes. I don't think there are bad things in there. They're really good and epic sections actually. It's just that honor rail is just a bit too long. Could have been shorter, but logically it would have been um, nonsensical, So I get it, but it goes in the BDA for me. It's not really a bad chapter. I think one of the only few exceptions of people who actually thinks on rail is you know uh, a mediocre chapter because most people either say it's very good or it's very bad. No one's in between. I'm I think the only exception who thinks it's exactly in between. I don't really hate it. I don't really love it either for separate reasons. Then comes apprehension. Apprehension is a good chapter. I like apprehension. I do like the underwater sections actually. Uh, uh, there's not a whole lot I can discuss about this chapter. Uh, One of the plus points of this chapter is that you get to see the uh, you get to see those spies, or I don't know what Black Ops spies. Yes, Black Ops. So you see those female Black Ops, and you all know about the physics. So it's a plus point, but overall they can be really irritating. Only if you know to deal with them. Otherwise, you're going to have hard time dealing with them. But this is one of those chapters where you first start seeing, very planned attacks from Zen aliens at you. Like Vorticons always spawn at specific locations, always trying to ambush you. So I think there's a connection between, blasting that rocket in on a rail, and that did something because of which probably the Nayland sent more planned soldiers to the earth so as to stop Gordon Freeman. I don't know. Those are theories, just theories that I'm making up. But there's a whole lot in there. Apprehension as that last cutscene where you are stripped of all your weapons, and these stupid marines, instead of killing you right on the spot, they throw you in a trash compactor, because of which you survive. and you wreak havoc on them. So that's a stupid decision by the Marines, but for you it's a good decision. So, anyways, it's an A chapter. I think it's about unforeseen consequences. It's a really good chapter actually. Then comes rest processing. As I discussed uh, earlier, this is not a very good chapter actually. Very boring. I mean, the, it, aesthetically, it looks good, and for the first time, it can be good actually. But overall, you will get bored by this chapter. There's not a whole lot there, so like it's a short chapter. It's not bad, but I'll still not give it a very good rating as well. I think the last section is kind of cool, where you fight seven hound eyes approximately, or I don't remember how many, but six or seven hound eyes are there, and that's when you get to unforeseen consequences from there on. This is the chapter where stripped off all the uh, I mean, it's the aftermath of when you're stripped off of all your weapons. So you have zero to nothing. The first thing you receive is a crowbar, and after that you start receiving a pistol, and then something, something, something. I don't know. I can't remember. But this is also one of those chapters where you also you notice this if you these subtle details that after if you can remember, you will see that every time you you get ambushed by these head crabs, they'll always spawn in these weird locations where you wouldn't expect them to be. So as I said, that's another probably uh, connection to that rocket we blasted off and on rail. But I don't know. I can't really say for sure. But again, not a very good chapter. But it will go in the D tier for me. Not bad. Not great either. So that's probably about it. I think I'm happy with it. Mm, actually, I think I'll make some changes. Unforeseen consequences, not in A. Because Lambda core is better than unforeseen consequences, I think. It's just how I see it. Blast pit surface and questionable ethics. S tier is perfect. A tier office complex, bar up, vehicle hostiles, apprehension. I think this is good as well. I don't hate this. Then comes Lambda core, enforcing consequences, on rail, anomalous materials, Black Mesa inbound. I think this is great as well. Neeland, Zen, Konaxter, forget about Freeman. Sounds great to me. Residue processing, interloper. I think this is perfect tier list. I'd actually like to see what people think about it. I don't think. I mean, this is my personal opinion. People's opinion can vary. Someone might say that interloper is the best chapter in the game, which is certainly which I can actually see. I can actually see why interloper can be the best. There's a lot of good things to it, as I said. I could have created another tier called the F tier and would have could have placed interloper there, but I didn't because I think interloper is not a very bad chapter. It's just that it was executed badly. It wasn't perfectly done. There was a lot of potential to it. It was just ruined. So I hope that I've heard that Black Mesa did uh, great justice to interloper, and surprisingly, even though I've played every Half-Life game, I haven't happened to play uh, Black Mesa, which I don't know if can be considered a Half-Life game, but it's somewhat of a remake made by the fans at uh, Crowbar Collective. I might as well try it and give my opinions on it, but uh, I can't really say what I feel about. But Interloper, I think, is a great chapter. Just could have been a great chapter, just not executed properly. Now, just to make it clear, I think I like every single chapter here. Every single part of this game is great. This is a game, a 10 out of 10 game. one of the best games I've created. So uh, even the D here is uh, you know S tier compared to other games. The C here is S plus, B here is S plus plus, A here is S plus plus plus, S here is plus, S plus infinity times plus 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 plus. These are all great chapters. Just if I have to uh, rate them uh, and compare them to themselves, this would be the rating, I think. So that's why I have rated these in terms of that. But I would like to know everyone's opinions. You can check out this site here. Uh, there's a lot of other tier lists you can make here. I'll be putting the link down in the descriptions below. Um, so see you guys next time. Peace.